Thanks for staying with us. So, disturbing news we got in the last 24 hours concerning Baba Ijesha on the allegations that he defiled a 14-year-old child, which he also, according to the police, had confessed to. So in the papers today, the report said that the mother of the child had installed a CCTV camera in the home when she suspected that he may have been defiling her daughter. Oh, and the CCTV was installed, and when he came into the house, he started being with the girl somewhat uncomfortably, and then he moved her to the kitchen. When the mother, from monitoring from her phone, saw that the man had moved from the living room to the kitchen, she ran home, and there she caught them in the act, according to the reports. Oh, God. But because the matter is still under investigation, we're not going to focus so much on the act itself. We just want to use that as a basis of the conversation concerning, number one, celebrity influence, the fact that pedophilia is rampant. There are people who defile young people. Now, this man has children, I'm told. So it's not as though he doesn't have adults he has been with. So this is a pedophile who seemed to have been doing this for 7 years, if this is the truth. How do we get around familiar faces around our children, people they look up to as role models? I mean, these are celebrities. You see, I can imagine a mother saying, "Oh, Baba Ijesha," you know, excited that he's around them, trusting because it's a celebrity. These are all just speculations, but how do we talk about pedophilia in our society today? And how do parents find ways to help protect their children from people like these?
I think we must first acknowledge that there's something called pedophilia, and we must acknowledge the fact that it can come from anyone around us. You know, for a long time I tried to deny that. I used to just feel like I don't want to be paranoid around my children. I don't want to be suspicious of everybody that comes around my child. Like, would this person want to abuse my child? But especially when I heard this story, and there are many other stories out there, it just brings to the fore the fact that there are many sick people around us. And we shouldn't expect our sanity is shared by people around us. And we have a responsibility as a parent to protect our children as much as possible. And the first tool of protection is knowledge. We need to give our children the knowledge and the strength to speak up for themselves. Because if your children have the knowledge of what it means to be defiled and what it means to be abused, and they have the strength to speak up, this attack would have been nipped. A 7-year-old child can ask for food. A 7-year-old child can say, stop. Yeah. And a 7-year-old child, even if he can't say stop, he can shout. Yeah. He or she can scream, or he or she can report. So the real problem is our society has largely brought up many children to obey without complaint, not to ask questions, and the result is somebody touches you inappropriately and you feel he's an elderly person. What will I say? How would I say it? Yeah. It starts from there.
Let me go back to the definition of pedophilia so that parents who are watching understand that it's actually a disorder. So pedophilia is a psychiatric disorder in which an adult or an older adolescent experiences a primary or exclusive sexual attraction to children. So it's something somewhat...
It's a mental illness.
It's a mental disorder that maybe they as adults can't even control it themselves. You see?
Yeah, so I think this is more like an eye-opener, that as parents, we need to pay more attention. For a child to have been abused for a very long time and there is no adult that noticed anything. So we don't know the extent of the abuse. We don't know if he had gone inside and come out, and no adult in the environment was able to notice either the child's walking step had changed, or there was a little bleed somewhere, or the child is no longer comfortable when you're trying to bathe them. I think it just opens our eyes that this is the period where we have to start doing deliberate parenting, where we are involved with our children. Because any mother who is really involved would have picked up on, no matter how subtle the signs are, would have picked up on it. And also, I think we need to start understanding that these celebrities, whoever they are, whoever we are first human beings with our different sicknesses and demons that we are fighting in secret. And it's not enough to see somebody on television and make that person your role model. You don't know what that person is going through. We all put our best foot forward. And it's important that we get our children to understand that we are their first role models. You need to look up to somebody, look up to your mommy, look up to your daddy first, before you just start picking on. And also, I don't know how the setting is where a full-grown man comes to the house, you know, just like that to visit occasionally, and it's not like we're family members or anything, or I'm not there to host you and you can walk into my house. So there are a lot of things that we need to start paying attention to as parents.
All right, Missy, Mariam.
Yeah. So, you know, you ladies have just said it all. So mine will be questions I have concerning this story, and it will be, what relationship did he have with the family members? Is he an uncle, a trusted uncle? Is he a trusted friend? Because sometimes we know what to tell our children. Our children also have heard us speak to them about being careful, protect your special areas, don't let anyone touch you. But then, what do you do with this uncle that is so loving, that my parents love, that is well respected, you know? And then there's a way that we bring up children in Nigeria and in Africa, and Tope, you touched on that, which is you just obey your elders. There's a way you carry yourself. Whatever they tell you, however they tell you, you just say yes. And I would never forget, for me, there was a time, I was a teenager then, and my auntie used to have these pastors, 2 young pastors come to the house, and they will come to talk the word of God. But there's one of them, every time he would come and she's not around, Mary, come here again. How tall are you? Are you sure you're taller than me? And he would stand beside me. Every time the same thing, you know, like he wanted to just be beside me. And for me, I was just raised to obey your seniors, be quiet, whatever it is that you have. You never show anger or displeasure, just wait, and then you can talk to someone else about it. So one particular day, he came again, Miriam, come, and this is well-respected person. And I said to him, I said, please, it's enough. Every day you're asking me my height. You already know what my height is. I'm confused. You know, why is it that you're always wanting to just pull me to your side? He said to me, you know, you're very bold. Your auntie would never, ever believe you said this to me. And it's the truth, because I'm sure if she's watching, this would be the first time ever.
You never
mentioned it to anybody, because there's that thing of, you always feel that you're already wrong when it involves an adult. You will be the one in the wrong. In fact, it will not be about what the person did, but how did you talk to this person? And you too, there's a way you should have said it. Do you understand? And eventually, it came about that this person got someone pregnant. You know, so it is important in teaching our children about their special parts and special things. Also, we need to make them comfortable enough to be able to speak up when they notice something and not feel like they'll be blamed for it. Yeah.
Let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still sharing experiences of pedophilia. The fact that adults who defile young children. And I mean, this is something that we still need to discuss with experts, some psychiatrists and psychologists who can help understand how people come to this point. But I think what is key first is to show that it actually exists, because you'll be surprised that there are people like us, educated parents, who always block their minds to the possibility that this is happening in their homes. There are people that I have met who have male friends or uncles or cousins around the house with young girls. I mean, I know somebody that I actually asked her, like, are you comfortable having this person here? Oh, no, it's nothing wrong. It's just my husband's cousin. I'm thinking, are you okay with him picking up this girl every single day from school, takes her to his own place, his own workshop, before he now brings her home? She's like, no, because I'm not available. And I'm thinking, you would think that she'd be smarter than that. So But again, we also don't want to feed into this negativity. We don't want the children to think that we are... So how do you draw that line between what is right and what is not right?
So for me, because I've had many experiences, close calls to this as a child, and I think I was more vulnerable to people like that because I was a quiet child. So maybe they thought this one wouldn't say much. If you had tried my sister, the whole world would have heard, you know. Immediately. So, and so because of that, in raising my children, I would say something to, like, people around me, you know, to keep an eye on, like, it didn't even cross our minds to think this way. And I understand, because it was never your reality. So it would not even occur to you that something like that can be a possibility. So, of course, for me, it had to start from, and I used to say, I don't know if I've said it here before, I used to say, I don't want to have a girl child. And then I just don't want to have a girl child. Everyone was like, why? But because of what I'd been through, I just thought, if you bring this girl child into this world, all the things she would have to face, and all the ways I would feel like I did not do my job because I was not able to catch it on time. So for me, it would be that, because what has happened for me is that I think I've gotten to where I have some balance. You know, I'm lucky to be surrounded by people who sort of understand where I'm coming from and where I'm going to. And all I've done really for my children is I have empowered them. They speak up to me. So first of all, they're allowed to disagree with me, to tell me. So they understand that with adults, if you do not understand something, you can disagree. You're allowed to come and tell mommy what someone did. And when I call them and I'm speaking to them, like you call an adult and a child, the way we were raised, when the adult is speaking, you just keep quiet until the adult is done. But this one, when the adult is done, you're allowed to say your part and would give you the same attention and time to say your own side of the story. So for me, it's empowering our children to be able to speak up for themselves. But also, that is still, you also pray that someone who is even closer or more trusted does not betray you.
I was sharing during the break that as a child, because these scars stay with you for life. I mean, I remember when I came back home, I went for a family function. It was my first time out at that family function in Lagos Island. And there was this family party. I think I've shared the story before on television, where there was a guy I saw. Immediately I saw him. He came over to come and say hello to me, and my body started shaking. My body started literally, I felt heat in my body. I was trembling, and I was wondering what was wrong with him. Maybe because of my car accident, the memory just disappeared or something, but I just knew there was something about this guy. He came to me, the way he was looking at me was very, very suspicious. And he was looking at me, you're all grown up, oh, how are you doing? And I kept shaking. I couldn't understand why I was shaking, but you see, when we talk about these things, I know there was something with this guy. I just can't remember exactly.
Recognized him.
My subconscious recognized him, but I couldn't put the fact to it. So the point is, these scars are there for life. And to avoid our children going through this, we need to pay more attention to what they are doing, where they are at per time, and who is around them.
Yeah. I also want to appeal that we put certain systems in place. So, for instance, I know that people who are into these sort of diseases have family members who know.
Yes. Thank you.
Who, because they don't want people to hear that their brother or their husband is a pedophile, they keep quiet. And then this person goes outside and starts abusing and defiling other people's children. If you trace it back to the family, it started a long time ago where some family members were privy to it. I think we need to be in a position where we can support these people. First of all, we need to understand it's a mental illness. It's not, they can't help themselves. Now sickness, they sick with that. Now madness with that. They can't help themselves. So if you understand that and you have a family member who you have noticed is always, a full-grown man is always with small children, you will suspect. And when you get them, please bundle them to go and find help.
Thank you for taking us there, because there are two stories that we read about. One, where it's a woman, her husband was widowed, then she remarried. The new husband she married was defiling her daughter. She knew about it, she kept quiet.
You see?
Daughter got suicidal.
Oh my God.
Second story, a young woman, I think I've shared with you guys, a woman who, her son was rubbing her ears as a baby, and she was enjoying it, she didn't stop him, and the thing was going as the boy was her own child. So she's a single mother, she was alone in the house with the child. So the guy would be touching her ears and touching her armpits, and the young boy, growing up, she didn't stop him, she was enjoying the soothing feeling. As they grew older, they started touching each other in their private areas. Before you know, she started defiling her own child. Her mother walks in at some point, catches them, bundled his grandson, took the boy with her. But she's now saying, I miss my son. I want my son back because she's been defiling that she's sick. She's been defiling that child because of that, the touching he was touched as a baby. Because we're all mothers have that. There's a phase where your child is touching your ears, touching your hand because they want to sleep. But there's a time when you stop it. This one didn't stop it. She was enjoying it till the child became a teenager.
So I feel that, like that's why I said that it's a sickness and we should acknowledge it. One. Number two, there is no, it does not, family members are used to hiding things. Like when things happen, I don't want shame to come to my family. So
secrets.
This is a secret, we are going to keep it. And sometimes when we are keeping it, we don't understand the impact on many other people around us and how it will spread. And the particular story, because something similar to this one, I know of someone who's, the girl is suicidal, she's been defiled by her father, and her mother knew about it. And her mother said that, I had other children before you, I was happily married before you, you came in and you turned my husband into a pedophile. And so the mother blames the child for what is happening. And many times we blame the children who are victims and survivors of this thing for what did they do, what did they wear. And so we must channel the conversation right so that parents and family members who see these things are not shocked into silence or misled into blaming the child, but address the adult. Whoever is older in such relationship is the one responsible, and we should help them seek help. Like, report it to the hospital.
Yeah.
Are doctors empowered enough to know what to do when somebody says this person is doing this? What's the next line of action? Report to the hospital, report to the police station. Yes, we don't want to report our family members to the police station, but it is beyond you. Because you need to protect your child who's been abused. And other people's children who might get abused by this person. There are drivers that the parents know that is abusing, and then you let the person become a driver. And, you know, like the ecosystem of this abuse goes far and wide. So anyone who finds out there is an abuser around you, it is beyond you. You owe it as a responsibility to your society and to your neighbors and to your environment to report these cases, number one.
Let me take this call. Good morning. You're live. Thanks for calling. Hello, good morning.
My name is Yemi Ajanaku. I'm calling from the UK.
Good morning. You're live, Mr. Ajanaku. Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. When I heard this news yesterday, then I said to myself, it's why can't people sit down and start doing character evaluation? Because people don't, sometimes you just keep wondering, is it that they don't know what they are doing is not right? So that's the one we've heard, because the woman was able to install CCTV camera. What about other ones that are not able to do things like that, that are not able to, they don't have facilities to things like that? This one might not be the first one he's done. I'm not judging him. There are other people like that around us. There's nobody who can even trust, like, okay, look after my daughter, let me quickly go to the market. It is that bad. So it's not even about our men alone. What about women? What about things we do that we think nobody's looking at us? Can we just start doing things right even when no one is there? Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take more calls and take some tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.